Welcome in everyone to Flyover Footy. My name is Matt Baker for another Between Matches episode of Flyover Footy. On this week's show, we're going to have comments from Olof Mellberg after training on Tuesday, as well as a featured interview with center back Henry King Kessler. You're going to hear directly from Olof on a couple player updates here in just a moment, but let's get out in front of it. On the player availability front, we have mixed news. Roman Bürki will miss a month or so with his fractured hand, and we found out Thomas Totland suffered a pulled hamstring in the second half of City's game against Seattle. He'll also miss about a month per Olof Mellberg, as you'll hear from him in just a minute on. More from Olof in a moment, but beyond that, there's no further injuries as Conrad Wallem was absent from training on Tuesday, but just due to load management, as we're told. Rasmus Alm continued to be absent, and he's still about 1 or 2 weeks away from potentially returning from his hip injury, and Jay Reed continued to work inside on the bike. Michael Wenzel and Jake Girdwood-Reich were each working one-on-one with a coach on the side field. Neither participated with the team on training on Tuesday. And Colin Welsh, the third-round Super Draft pick and City 2 keeper, was in training now as the third goalkeeper. On Tuesday, Olof commented on a range of topics, including playing former City coach Bradley Carnell, and talked about watching his matches, how the Union play a similar style to City, and their hot start as they started 3-0 before being derailed by Nashville SC this past weekend. Olof Mellberg did note that neither team probably minds having the ball, but City's matches in particular, the last three, having low percentage possession, had more to do with the specific opponents and not as much with their desire to just not possess, as Mellberg has mentioned a few times over the past week, that they do intend and do want to be a team that possesses the ball a little bit more if they can get the quality. We're going to have a little more from Olof Mellberg on the Union later in the week for his pregame press conference, but for now, let's hear straight from our City SC head coach as I spoke to him on Tuesday after training along with other members of the media on a range of topics. You'll hear his updates on Roman Bürki and Thomas Totland, his view on City's evolution and how they can possess more, as well as the notable choice this past weekend to not play Klauss and what that means for his matchday choices and striker depth. Then after Olof, stick around for my full-length interview with center back and recent team of the matchday player, Henry Kessler, who is always just a fantastic interview. He's a fantastic player to chat with, and you won't want to miss this interview. And that's all for me in the studio for this week's Flyover Footy. I hope you enjoy hearing from Olof Mellberg and my interview with Henry Kessler. Have a great one, and go City.
How's Roman?
Yeah, he's not great because he has a fracture in his hand. So he will most likely be out for a month or so.
What about Thomas Totland? He left in the second half. What's his prognosis? How long are you expecting him to be out?
Yeah, unfortunately he pulled his hamstring, so he will be also out for a month or so.
Yeah. How do you see your options at right back or right wing with Thomas out?
Yeah, we have players who can fill in there. It's not a position where we have a lot of players, so unfortunate in that way. Also unfortunate because Thomas has done really well. He's a quality player for us, so it's not ideal, but we'll find a way.
Are you seeing what you need to see from your midfield, from your back line in that ball progression to be able to possess more over the past few games? Have you seen kind of a growth in what they're able to do? And you spoke a few weeks ago about being more intentional in making direct movements as opposed to kind of playing the ball back at first glance a little bit, whether it's Marcel Hartl or Edu Leuven. Are you seeing what you need to see in the past few weeks to feel confident that the team's getting to that point?
Yeah, I think they're improving all the time. But we also have to be, we have to understand that we are not a team like San Diego or Seattle or LA Galaxy. They have a lot of players who are really, really good individually in possession. I don't think we are there as a team, and we don't have to be. We have other qualities, and if we continue to win games, we are happy. And I think the guys were really happy in the way we played the last game, the effort we put in, and the quality we have in a lot of moves going forward. If we can get few more of those, there are in a game like this 4 or 5 maybe really, really good attacks where we create danger and chances. If we can add to that every week, add to the quality in training, and we're trying to do that, but also understanding the identity we have created and the players have created actually with their qualities. Their qualities defending as a team and individually is an amazing effort for them. So from them. So we really need to keep building on that.
In the short history of St. Louis City, just over 2 years, this was Klauss's first game where he made a match day roster but didn't appear in a match. Does that speak to the depth that you have up front? Because you addressed Toyshirt's ability to play the 9. How do you see that as an advantage, being able to win this kind of matchup without Klauss or for long periods Betcher?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at again every game individually, and how we can get the most out of our players and that position. We felt in this game that we could really use Sedi from start, and then in what the game looked like, we felt it was a good change with Simon. So we'll see for next game what that setup looks like and how they're doing in training, and make a decision accordingly.
Henrik Kessler, thanks for joining us on Flyover Footy. Congratulations on Team of the Match Day last week. What does that mean to you individually?
Not too much. The Team of the Match Day, I don't know who decides those things, but I guess it's nice to get. I don't think I was in the full 11, just on the bench, but I guess it's a little nice reward.
So it's nice, but you still notice that you're not yet there on the starting 11. What do you think you have to do to make the starting 11 now? If MLS is starting to and obviously it's been a thing in the fan base where they've wanted you to be recognized, they've seen the performance, they admire the work that you're doing for the club. What more do you think you need to do to break into that starting 11?
Maybe score. I think those tend to be the guys that get in. Again, it's not of too much importance to me, but maybe that would help.
All right, so talk about the team performance last week. How do you feel you guys performed against Seattle, and was it everything that you intended going into the match?
Yeah, good performance. I think we could have had a second and maybe even a third, but we had 2 good chances that we didn't score off of. So good performance, really solid defensively. Obviously, they were missing a couple guys, but really good performance and one that we had hoped for prior.
There's been a lot of movement on the back line so far as the starters and where some of the other players like Kyle Hebert have been moving along, but you seem to have found a home in that central center back spot. Have you played the central center back in a 3 center back look before, and how does that feel game in, game out for you?
Yeah, here and there, but a lot in college. So that was a while ago now, but nonetheless still good practice. But in my professional career, not as much as I have now, but nonetheless I feel very comfortable there.
What are the differences between a four-man back line and 3 center backs in how you manage the game?
Yeah, I think with 3 you have a lot of numbers in the box. I think we've been really hard to break down. Sometimes with 4 you have a 6 helping out. That's not so necessary when we have 5 in the back line. But those are just some differences.
Have there been differences in how you've played that 3 center back look against these opponents so far? Colorado, you had a little more possession. San Diego, LA Galaxy, Seattle, it seems like it's down in that 35% range. And with Olof's push to play the ball out of the back, do you feel like these last 3 games are indicative of what you feel comfortable doing in this system, or do you want to control the ball more?
I think we'd like to have it more. I think some of it is just, us not executing, not necessarily anything tactical or, any orientation, just us, making a bad pass here and there, nothing major, but at times that makes us defend for prolonged periods. So if we could be a little sharper on the ball, I think that would help us.
And what's your role as that central center back in progression of the ball?
Yeah, sometimes it's as simple as getting it to one of the wide guys. Sometimes it's me trying to break lines off the dribble or playing. And then the occasional one over top. It's really basically what I see. So if I see a simple one, I'll do that. If I see something more, I'll try to do that, but I kind of have that freedom.
How do you think St. Louis has been training this week? I know it's early in the week. Do you feel confident coming off Seattle? And what are you looking to build upon from that game?
I think we're looking to build upon a lot. So defensively, I thought we were really solid again. Offensively, I thought we created a good few chances. I haven't taken a look at what the expected goals was, but I think it was pretty good. Obviously, great free kick from Edu. Training's been good so far.
Looking ahead to Philadelphia, you didn't play under Bradley Carnell, actually. Has there been any talk in the locker room about going and facing the old coach?
Not yet. I think as we get later in the week, we'll do more of our scout. Obviously, a lot of guys are familiar with him, me not so much. But I think as we get closer to the game, more guys will be talking about how they might set up.
What's it like playing a former teammate? Indiana Vasilev obviously was a teammate of yours. He was such a core component of this locker room, fan favorite, locker room favorite. What's it going to be like facing him?
I'm looking forward to it. Indy was one of the guys I was close with, so I was sad to see him leave, but happy for him. I think it's a good opportunity, and so I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Do you make anything? You mentioned not making anything of the team of the match day. Do you make anything about this clean sheet streak? If you go one more game with a clean sheet, you set the MLS record. I think, in fact, if you go 69 minutes or so, you set the longest MLS record. Does that mean anything to you?
That means more to me. That means more to me. That would be a really cool accomplishment. Obviously, we'll take it play by play, half by half, but try to keep the ball out of our net as long as possible.
How do you juxtapose the desire to keep that clean sheet with trying not to do anything different game in and game out?
I don't think we have so far. So it's just been, defend how we've been defending. And if we keep doing that, I think the clean sheets will keep coming, or at least, a minimal amount of chances. So I don't think it's some focus that we've had. I think, we're well set up. We know the formation quite well. So keep doing what we're doing.
You feel Olof is falling into a rhythm for who he has on the back line. Early on in the season, it's always kind of interesting to see a new head coach manage the players. Jonas Horn, the past couple of games, at left center back spot. Joachim Nilsson's just returning from injury. So do you feel like that back line is still kind of in flux with some of these players returning?
We have a lot of guys that can play in a lot of positions. So I think everyone's going to get an opportunity. Everyone's been doing well in the games and in trainings. So we have a lot of guys that can play along the back line. And I think that's what we've seen so far.
You've seen some substitutions being made in the second half. What is it like getting into a new rhythm with players earlier on in the game? Last year with Bradley Carnell and John Hackworth, some of the subs came a little later in the game. Does it make a difference having 60-minute subs versus 75, 80?
Not for me. I haven't even noticed. So, it's not something I'm so aware of when a guy's coming on or off, really. Obviously, if they're playing next to me, it makes a bigger difference. But it's, to me, whether a guy's come on in the 70th minute or 60th minute doesn't make a difference.
How do you feel the adjustments have been during the game? Do you feel you've kept the momentum after the subs have come in?
I think the subs have done a really good job. Whoever has come on, Alfie has come on several times. He's done really well. Thomas Ostruck, I thought, did a great job when he came on. Simon, really effective. So the guys that, and I'm sure I'm missing guys too, but everyone that's come on has done a really nice job.
All right, last question. Have you ever had the name King Kessler before coming here?
I have. So it started my rookie year. During COVID, horrible at video games, but I bought an Xbox, and that's how it started. So that was my Xbox name, King Kess. And
so it's a gamer tag.
It's a gamer tag, and then it kind of stuck. Couple guys calling me here and there, and then the Revs picked up on it, and then obviously it's come with me here. So that's how it started.
So it's nothing new here. It's obviously something you created, but it feels good.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. It's a name I like. It's flattering. So it's one that I hope follows me throughout my career.
All right, Henry Kessler, thanks for joining us on Fly for Footy.
Thank you.